Dear students, welcome to EPG Pathashala. I am Professor P. Bhaskar Reddy, Department of Ancient Indian History, Culture and Archaeology, Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, the Principal Investigator of the subject Indian Culture and Course Coordinator for the paper Outlines of Indian History. In the present module, you are going to learn about the religious movements, Jainism and Buddhism. This is an important subject of study in Indian history and culture. With the rise of these religious movements, they brought revolutionary change in the history of religious practices and social conditions. The learning objectives of the study are introduction, which focuses on why the religious movements were began in India in 6th century BC, the causes for the rise of Buddhism and Jainism, early life of Mahavira and his teachings, spread and decline of Jainism, the contribution of Jainism to Indian culture. Then followed Buddhism, life and teachings of Buddha, spread and decline of Buddhism, the contribution of Buddhism to Indian culture. With these objectives, let us to start the religious conditions in India in the 6th century BC to understand the background for the beginning of religious movements in the name of Jainism and Buddhism. In 6th century BCE, it was a period of great religious upheaval. The reformers all over the world protested against the social and religious practices of the period. They attempted to reconstruct a new socio-religious order. In India also, it was an age of intellectual ferment. It saw the emergence of numerous religious sects in Gangetic Plain, particularly in North India. We heard of as many as 62 religious sects practiced by different people of India. Of these sects, Buddhism and Jainism occupied a place of prominence. They emerged as the most religious reform movements. However, they had a common background of Aryan culture. Let us try to understand what were the causes for the beginning of this religious reform movement and how they paved the way for the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. The important cause for the rise of Jainism and Buddhism, the first one is religious unrest. In the 6th century BCE, particularly in the post-Vedic age, the complex rituals and sacrifices were not acceptable to the common people. Their Vedic philosophy had lost its original purity. The treatises of the Vedic religion were composed in Sanskrit. By all these causes, the people were unhappy and they are unable to meet all these practices. Besides the religious cause, socio-economic factors were also responsible for the rise of these movements. The post-Vedic society was divided into 4 Varnas: Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaisyas and Sudras. In the Varna-divided society, the Brahmins occupied topmost in the society. They became the custodians of religion and learning. Kshatriyas reacted against the ritualistic domination of the Brahmanas It should be noted here that the founders of Jainism and Buddhism, Mahavira and Buddha, also belongs to Kshatriya family. The Vaishyas aspired new religion and social status due to their economic improvement. The caste system in those days had become rigid and brutal. A person of low caste had a miserable life. The position of women became deplorable. The women neither enjoyed social mobility nor religious freedom. The society at that time needed simple, sharp, intelligible way for the salvation of all people. This need was fulfilled by the teachings of Buddha and Mahavira. Therefore, they began to extend patronage to Buddhism and Jainism. With this brief introduction, let us to start discussion on Jainism. In Indian religious history, Jainism has a unique place. The Jaina traditions claim that theirs is the oldest religion because Rishabhanada and Aristonemi are the first two Jaina Tirthankaras mentioned in the Rigvedic time. It is known that Tirthankara is the title of Jaina patriarch of the highest order. There were 24 Tirthankaras, all Kshatriyas coming one after the other. Rishabhanada was the first and the last Tirthankara was Vardhamana Mahavira. The first 22 Tirthankaras are so legendary in character. Parshvanatha was the 23rd Tirthankara. It is said to be that he lived 250 years. He was the son of Asvasena, the king of Kashi. He became an ascetic at the age of 30. His followers later were called as Nigranthas. Though the Jainism had a long history, which there are references about 23 Tirthankaras up to Parshvanatha, but the Jainism not received popularity up to the 24th Tirthankara. Vardhamana Mahavira was the 24th Tirthankara. He born in 540 BCE at Kundagrama near Vaishali. Siddhartha and Trishala were his parents. He married Yasoda and had a daughter named Annoja. Annoja's husband Jamili became the first disciple of Mahavira. Vardhamana was educated in all branches of knowledge in his youth. He renounced his family later and became an ascetic and proceeded in search of truth. He spent the first 6 years of his wandering with Gosala Maskariputra, the founder of the Ajivaka sect. He attained Kaivalya Jnana, that is supreme knowledge, in the 13th year of his asceticism. Thereafter, he was called Mahavira and Jina. His efforts and teachings transformed Jainism into a popular religion. He preached his doctrines for nearly 30 years and died at the age of 72 in 468 BCE at Pavapuri near Rajgruha. With this brief discussion on the life of Mahavira, now we can turn our attention the teachings of Mahavira, how his teachings were inspired the people and Jainism received popularity. Mahavira rejected the authority of the Vedas and rituals. He advocated simple life with the ultimate aim to attain Kaivalya. He did not believe in the existence of God. He said that the universe is the product of nature, the outcome of cause and effect. Man's salvation does not depend upon the mercy of God, but on his own acts. He believed in karma and also the transmigration of soul. Mainly, the Mahavira's teachings based on the 5 principles, Panchavratas. They are Ahimsa, non-violence, Satya, truth, Asteya, non-stealing, Aparigraha, non-possession, Brahmacharya, chastity. The first 4 of his principles are the common one. Only the last principle was added by Mahavira, the other 4 being the teachings of his predecessors. Mahavira emphasizes more on the practice of Ahimsa. The 3 principles of Jainism, which was taught by Mahavira, also known as 3 Ratnas. They are Samyak Jnana, that is right knowledge, Samyak Darshan, that is right faith, Samyak Acharan, that is right conduct. With his teachings, the people inspired a lot, and Jainism received popularity, and it emerged as one of the movements in ancient India. Mahavira, for the propagation and progress of Jainism, he organized the Sangha to spread his teachings. He admitted both men and women and lay followers. The spread of Jainism was due to the dedicated work of the members of the Sangha. The Sangha remained united 2 centuries after Mahavira's death. Later on, the Sangha was divided into 2 parts, Digambara and Svetambara. The followers of Bhadrabahu, who remained naked and did not wear clothes, came to be known as Digambaras. The followers of Stolabhadra, who had garments, came to be known as Svetambaras. We have discussed so far the Jainism, Tirthankaras, Mahavira, his teachings and principles. Now, it is necessary to know about the progress of Jainism after Mahavira. Jainism never witnessed the rapid and extensive growth. It confined to India only. Among the royal families, Chandragupta Maurya, the founder of the Mauryan dynasty, was the prominent follower. King Kharavela of Kalinga professed Jainism and became its illustrious patron. In the progress of Jainism, the first Jaina council was held in 300 BCE by Stolabhadra. Later, the second Jaina council was held at Vallabhi in 512 Christian era. In this second council, the Jaina literature called 12 Angas were completed. After second Jaina council, Jainism continued to flourish as an important religion even in the medieval period. Later on, it disappeared due to several factors. Now we can analyze what are the factors that were responsible for the decline of Jainism. Mahavira's teachings, its overemphasis on ahimsa, could not be followed by the masses in large number. The Jaina Sangh and monks did not display the same spirit of commitment after the death of Mahavira and also in the progress of Jainism. With the passage of time, many evils entered the Jaina faith. They lost royal patronage and it was not a forthcoming. The foreign invaders like Sakas, Huns and Muslims gave a serious setback for the progress of Jainism. Lastly, the revival of Hinduism sounded the death knell of Jainism. Thus, Jainism declined in later course of time. Now, we can discuss the contribution of Jainism to Indian culture. Jainism made valuable contribution to Indian culture in the space of religion, society, literature, philosophy, education, art and architecture. Particularly, the Jainism spread the message of social equality in Varna and caste divided society. They adopted the Prakrit, the language of the common people, to preach their doctrines. It also contributed for the development of art, architecture and painting. The best examples are the rock cut caves at Badami and Aihole, where they have the figures of Jaina Tirthankaras. Jaina temples at Jodhpur, Chittor, Khajuraho and Dilwara are valuable contributions to architectural heritage of India. The gigantic statue of Bahubali, known as Gomateswara at Shravanabelagola in Karnataka, is a real wonder. The Jaina paintings are found at Ellora and Sittannavasal. So far, we completed our discussion on Jainism from its origin, Tirthankaras, Mahavira, his life, his preachings, principles, Jaina councils, spread and decline of Jainism and its contribution to Indian culture. Now we can start another topic, Buddhism. You know that the founder of the Buddhism was Gautama Buddha. Gautama Buddha, born in 563 BCE at Lumbini near Kapilavastu. Kapilavastu was the capital of the Second Republic. Suddhodana and Maya were his parents. As Maya died at childbirth, Siddhartha was brought up by his aunt Prajapati Gautami. From his childhood, Siddhartha observed in philosophical and spiritual musings. At the age of 16, he married Yasodhara and gave birth to a son, Rahula. The sight of an old man, a sick man, dead man, and an ascetic intensified Siddhartha's hatred for the world and made him realize the hollowness of worldly pleasures. He left home at the age of 29 for the search of truth. This departure is known as Great Renunciation, Mahabhinishkramana. In the course of renunciation, Alara Kalama and Uddaka were his teachers. He attained enlightenment, Nirvana at Buddha Gaya in Bihar at the age of 35. Since he was known as the Buddha or Enlightened One. After this, he gave his first sermon, Dharmachakra Pravartana, near Saranath in the vicinity of Benares before 5 ascetics. He preached his teachings the next 45 years and passed away in 483 BCE under a salt tree at Kushinagara, now known as Kashi. The main teachings of Buddha are: he proved to be a practical reformer who took note of the realities of the day. He rejected the infallibility of the Vedas, condemned the bloody animal sacrifices, he neither accepts God nor rejects the existence of God. He laid great emphasis on the law of karma and also emphasized ahimsa, love for human beings and all living creatures. His religion was identical with morality, purity of thought, word, and deed. He addressed himself to the worldly problems. In his teachings, the essence of Buddhism lies in the Four Noble Truths. They are: the world is full of sorrows. The cause of sorrow is desire. If desire is conquered, all sorrows can be removed. The only way this can be done is by following the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path, Ashtanga Marga. Gautama Buddha recommended an Eightfold Path for the elimination of human misery. They are: right view, right resolve, right speech, right conduct, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. If a person follows this Eightfold Path, he would not depend on the priest and able to reach his destination. Buddha also laid down a code of conduct for his followers. The main items in this social conduct are: do not convert the property of others, do not commit violence, do not use intoxicants, do not speak lie, do not indulge in corruption. These teachings are common to social conduct ordained by almost all religions. Therefore, Buddha was more social and religious resolution. In the progress of Buddhism, the Buddhist Sanghas played an important role. Buddhism had two kinds of disciples: monks, they are known as bhikshus; lay worshippers, known as upasikas. The former were organized into Sangha. The membership of the Sangha was open to both men and women. All the members of the Sangha had equal rights. Gautama Buddha did not appoint anybody as his successor. The process of admission to Sangha called Upasampada. Buddhism stands on three pillars, that is Buddha, its founder; Dharma, his teachings; Sangha, the order of the Buddhistic monks and nuns. Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dharmam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami. In the progress of Buddhism, the Buddhist councils played an important role. The first Buddhist council was held in 483 BCE at Rajagruha after the Buddha's death. Its purpose was to maintain the purity of Buddha's teachings. This council was attended by 500 monks, presided over by Mahakasyapa. During this council, they compiled the Buddhistic literature Vinaya Pitaka and Sutta Pitaka. Later, the second council was convened about 383 BCE at Vaisali, presided over by Sabakami. Kala Asoka was the ruler and patron. Mahakachayan and his followers after second council was called Theravadins. Mahakasyapa and his followers called Mahasangikas. The third Buddhist council was held at Pataliputra during the reign of Asoka in 250 BCE. The conference was dominated by Theravadins. In this council, they compiled Abhidhamma Pitaka and decided to propagate Buddhism even in outside India. The fourth Buddhist council was held in 2nd century Christian era during the reign of Kanishka at Kundalavana near Kashmir and presided over by Vasumitra. This conference led to the division of Buddhism into two broad sects, Mahayana Buddhism and Hinayana Buddhism. The followers of Mahayana sect believed in the Bodhisattvas, whereas the followers of Hinayana sect wanted to maintain the purity of Buddha's teaching. So far, we discussed about Buddha's life, his preachings, and Buddhistic councils and literature compiled during Buddhistic council known as Tripitakas. Now we can shift our discussion to know about the spread of Buddhism, how it became a popular religion in ancient Indian history and culture. Buddhism had phenomenal progress as a popular religion, not only in India, but even it spread to outside the countries. The overwhelming support extended by the unprivileged made Buddhism very popular within a record time. The personality and character of Gautama Buddha was a key factor for the progress of Buddhism. Buddhism made rapid progress in North India even during the Buddha's lifetime. Several republican states of that time embraced Buddhism. In the historical phase, the famous Mauryan Emperor Ashoka also embraced Buddhism, and as a result, during his time, the famous Mauryan Emperor Ashoka also embraced Buddhism. He conducted Third Buddhistic Council during his reign. After the Third Buddhistic Council, Ashoka launched a vigorous campaign to preach and propagate the message of Buddha. He sent several missionaries to various parts of India and the neighboring countries. The great rulers Kanishka and Harshavardhana also patronized Buddhism. The Buddhism not only confined to India, it made considerable influence in Southeast Asia, Far East and Central Asia. With the patronage extended by royal families, nobles and public, the local religious sect was transformed into a world religion. Several Buddhistic scholars like Ashwagosha, Nagarjuna, Vasubandhu, Buddhaghosa made an immense contribution to the Buddhistic philosophy and religion. Now, we can also discuss what are the causes for the declining of Buddhism. In the beginning, it was inspired by the spirit of reform. Later, gradually lost its vigor and vitality. The practice of idol worship and offerings led to the deterioration of moral standards. The Buddhist monk gave up Pali language and Prakrit, and they used Sanskrit for the compilation of their literature. The Buddhistic monasteries lost its purity, chastity, and became centers of immoral and unethical practices. Due to the lack of royal patronage, it gave a rude shock to the moral and material strength of the Buddhism. Besides, revival of Brahmanism and rise of Bhagavatism, they led to the fall of the popularity. These factors contributed to the decline of Buddhism in India. With these factors, Buddhism disappeared even in India, which was a land of its birth. Now, we can discuss what was the contribution made the Buddhism to Indian culture. It contributed to Indian culture in all walks of life. Buddhism made a remarkable contribution to the development of Indian culture. It exercised considerable influence in shaping various aspects of Indian life. The concept of ahimsa was its chief contribution. It became one of the cherished values of our nation. Buddhism emphasizes on non-violence and the sanctity of animal life. This principle of non-violence attracted large number of traders and artisans who extended their patronage for the progress of Buddhism. It made a substantial contribution to learning and education. Buddhism enriched the languages of Pali and Prakrit, Nalanda, Vikramasila, and Vallabhi developed as great centers of learning in those days. They attracted the students from all over the world. Buddhism broke the isolation of India and established an intimate contact between India and foreign countries. As a result, Indian culture and civilization was carried by the Buddhist missionaries into China, Mongolia, Korea, Japan, Burma, Java, Sumatra, and other countries from the time of Ashoka. Last but not the least is Buddhism contributed a lot in the promotion of architecture, art, and painting. The stupas, chaityas, and viharas were the monuments chiseled and erected by the master Buddhist architects. The panels found at Gaya, Sanchi, and Barhot are illuminating examples of artistic activity. It is known that the first human statues worshipped in India were probably those of the Buddha. The world famous Ajanta paintings are the works of the Buddhistic painters. The Greek and Indian sculptors worked together to create a new kind of art known as the Gandhara art. See the stupas, chaityas, the icons of Buddha, and also paintings of Ajanta. Dear students, with this discussion, I hope you have understand the importance of religious movements and the changes brought by Jainism and Buddhism and its contribution to Indian culture. With this discussion, I hope that you may understand the importance of religious movements and the role played by Jainism and Buddhism and their contribution to Indian culture. For further learning, go through the e-text, self-assessment, and further sources for better understanding. Thank you.